Good morning, Kirsten. The fire department blames the weather for sending those 3 firefighters to the hospital for heat exhaustion. Now, they are expected to be just fine, and so are all of the people who live in this Williamsburg apartment building that caught on fire. Well, Katie, we have been following one group of residents out here on Staten Island who are really worried about how mold exposure will affect their health long term. Tamsin 40-year-old Anthony Criscuolo is inside the Bronx County Hall of Justice tonight, charged with rape and predatory sexual assault against a child. The reason cops say is because the teacher had planned an attack on his 10-year-old student. They say he used school letterhead to write a letter to the girl's mother saying that she had won an award, and he offered to take her to the ceremony. But there is no award, no ceremony. Instead, cops say he just used the lie to get the little girl alone in his car and raped her.
Erica Pitzi joins us now with the very latest. And the question, of course, on everyone's mind, Erica, did Zimmerman take the stand?
Yeah, Tamsin, that was certainly the question of the day. In fact, the judge asked Zimmerman 3 times today. Finally, late this afternoon, he responded with no. So we did not and will not hear from Zimmerman himself, but we did hear from more witnesses for the defense, including Zimmerman's father. The defense, of course, hoping to prove through these final witnesses that Zimmerman acted in self-defense when he shot and killed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin.
Are Bostonians beginning to get back to normal today?
A little bit here, Mario. You know, when we came up yesterday, the streets were just empty. Of course, this city on lockdown, people told to stay inside their homes. And now you can see people out and about. We are right about a couple of blocks away from the marathon finish line on Boylston Street in downtown Boston, where there is a makeshift memorial here set up for the 3 lives lost and the many injured. We saw a lot of people kind of walking over the bridge as they were going over to Fenway Park, and we were coming into the city, and it was just a really cool thing to see everyone kind of converging, being able to go to that game, and then to have Neil Diamond come out as a surprise is just truly Boston strong right there. Sandy is not even here yet, and already she's doing some serious damage. Just take a look at this here. You can see a huge tree fell over, uprooted, took down the power lines. Those were live just a couple of hours ago, and then boom, on top of a pickup truck that was parked right there. Joining me now is the driver and owner of that pickup truck, Andreas. My goodness, tell us the story. You pulled up to park. What happened? The Moore brothers are not the only children who succumbed to the storm that night. 10 miles south on the southern shore of Staten Island, a 13-year-old girl and her parents were huddled in the second-floor bathroom of their home, a house that used to stand right here. But the sheer strength of Sandy's tidal surge collapsed the house. Police found the bodies of the young girl and her father buried under the debris. You know, our story definitely touched a nerve,
Sure.
And now one United States senator is calling this situation involving the feds outrageous. We'll have more on that in a minute, but let's first explain what's going on here. We've learned thousands of homeowners are being blindsided with flood claim denials on damage to their foundations that was clearly caused by Sandy's floodwaters. Now take the Sass family here from New Jersey. Like most coastal homeowners, they have flood insurance through the federal government's National Flood Insurance Program, or NFIP. When they noticed clear cracks in their foundation after the storm, they thought for sure they were covered. Then their claim was denied, not because the damage was being disputed, but because the policy language, which was written by Congress in recent years, says it will not insure loss to property caused directly by earth movement, even if the movement is caused by flood. Well, tonight, we got this statement from a spokeswoman for U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, who said Senator Gillibrand finds this report about thousands of homeowners having their flood insurance claims denied due to bureaucratic fine print to be outrageous. The senator is looking into ways to change this policy so families devastated by Superstorm Sandy get the resources needed to build and recover. And it's a good thing the senator is on this, because it literally will take an act of Congress to change the language in some way so these people are protected by the very policy they paid into. This is serious.
Yeah, it really is. I can't believe we're still back here talking about this, and they're not even able to begin moving forward. Let's go back to the earth movement, though. There was not an earthquake the night of Sandy that we're not aware of.
Yeah, pretty sure there was no earthquake. So that's something that is definitely raising a red flag here. And, you know, it would make sense that flood insurance would not cover earth movement. But if the earth movement was caused by floodwaters, doesn't that seem like that would be covered?
It just doesn't make sense.
Disconnect.
Have you heard from the feds on this one at all?
No, not at all. Called, emailed since yesterday, no response.
All right, let me ask you this. There's a federal program. There's so many of them now, I think, that we've been tossing about. But is it the same federal program that's requiring people to elevate their homes, or they're not going to be insured?
That's spot on. Yes, this is the exact program, National Flood Insurance Program, that's requiring these Sandy residents to go ahead, raise, elevate. They've got the new FEMA flood maps out there. How can these folks with faulty foundations raise their homes? They've got to fix that foundation first. And this is costly. I mean, this could be upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if they have their claim denied, well, then that's out of pocket. So what do? Some of these folks are saying they just got to walk away. And that's
they don't have a choice.
devastating.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, Erica, I know you'll be on it. So
yes,
hopefully
we'll
hear from the feds.
Yes, let's hope.
We'll see.
Tamsin, a day after our exclusive report about 2 women coming forward with their concerns about gender discrimination within the FDNY, we tracked down the fire commissioner to see what he has to say about these strong allegations.
I will never be able to wear my uniform and work ever again. And I don't want this happening to anybody else, to any of the females.
An EMT on Staten Island who has helped save nearly a dozen lives on the job, Eileen Deschberry says she was subject to a hostile work environment both emotionally and physically, solely because she is a woman. She's not the only one. Deborah Teasdale says she was fired from EMS because of gender discrimination. They both have lawsuits against the FDNY and the city. The next day, a celebration for EMS as several are promoted to captain, including one woman. With Fire Commissioner Sal Casano on hand to congratulate the new captains, we got his take on these allegations. Just this week, 2 EMTs, female EMTs, came forward with their concerns about gender discrimination within the FDNY, potential gender discrimination. Is this something that is a concern to you, that you're willing to look into to make sure that women feel safe, protected, and fairly treated within your department?
Well, I can't comment on the 2 cases because it's under litigation, but I can assure you that every member of this department will be treated with dignity and respect, and we look at all aspects of it, any kind of discrimination. If there is any, we will certainly look at it.
Is this something that you'll look into?
I will look into anybody that works for me with any kind of a complaint, and we look into all of them. We take them very seriously.
And if not, if you find out that there was gender discrimination, what do you do?
Of course, we'll act on it. We will act on anything that comes up that looks inappropriate. We act upon it. But this is 2 cases, very too early yet.
Thank you, sir. Yes, it is 2 cases that we know of right now. I reached out to the city's corporate counsel to find out exactly how many gender discrimination lawsuits are pending against the FDNY in the city. They say with the holiday weekend, it's just not something they could accommodate on our deadline. Of course, we will keep digging and stay on top of this story.